Hi everyone, I want to show you a serverless lab, just a visual. And what we'll do is we're going to use Kinesis stream, create a Lambda function, and also create tables in DynamoDB. So here we are in US West 1 console, Northern California. Let's open up Kinesis. And we want to create a data stream. So first we need to name the stream. We'll call it lab stream. So I'm running this in a sandbox environment. This was part of kind of a AWS 3 free labs. So we want to click on provision and create one shard. Total stream capacity, write capacity, data stream. Let's go ahead and click create. So there you can see our lab stream, data stream summary. The status is creating. Let's close that out. So the data stream lab stream was successfully created. Now let's go to Lambda. And we want to create a function. Click create a function. We'll use a blueprint. And we're looking for Python. I want to say 3.8. Just double check. Kinesis, let's see. There we go. So process record sent to a Kinesis stream. Python 3.8 runtime. So let's name the function. We'll call it process Kinesis records. I want to use an existing role. So hit the option and Lambda basic execution role. Here's the function code, print loading function, payload, print, return, successfully processed with the records. Trigger is Kinesis, it'll be lab stream. Okay, additional settings, nothing here, but you can see you can add the ARM. So let's go ahead and create that function, that Lambda function. So the name is process Kinesis records. Let's go ahead and name the event name. We'll call it stream and we'll save that. And we'll test it. So that's one invocation. You can successfully process one record. And we'll scroll down. Initial duration, build duration, 2 milliseconds. Duration, 121.71 milliseconds. Okay. So let's run additional tests to spike the invocations, and we'll view it in CloudWatch metrics. So it's a total of 4 invocations. Okay. So let's click on monitor, and we're in CloudWatch metrics. So you can see the display dashboard, and if you see invocation, the count 4, which is correct. The duration in milliseconds. Yep, so this visual display is pretty fascinating. So no error, 100% count. No throttle, so you can see the different metrics that CloudWatch provides. Okay, so now let's go into DynamoDB. Click Create Table. And we need to name the table. We'll call it Game Score Records. Need to create a key pair, so record ID, and that'll be a number. Okay, table settings, we'll leave it at default, everything default, and let's go ahead and create that table. So here's our first table, Game Score Record. Let's create another table. We'll call this Game Score by User. All right, so that'll be a string. Partition will be username is the key. Okay, scroll down, default settings. Yes. And let's go ahead and create that table. So that's creating. Close that out. Just give it time to create the table. There we go. Okay, so both are active. So if we go in the Game Score Records, export in streams, so you can see that that's pretty much empty because we haven't triggered the Lambda function as of yet. So all right, so we want to turn on the DynamoDB stream, create a new image. All right, so we're still in Game Score Records. Let's just scroll down, the DynamoDB stream details, trigger information as well. Let's go back to Lambda. Okay, so we want to create a function. Okay, author from scratch is checked. So the function name, let's call it aggregate scores by user. Runtime is Node.js 16. Architecture 84 is fine. Use an existing role. Okay. So it's the Lambda Basic Execution DynamoDB role. That's great. Okay, so let's remove this code and open up the code editor and just copy and paste all above, which I'll include in the comments. So let's go ahead and paste that in. And then we're going to want to deploy it. Let's take a look. Export handler, event records, var, game score by user, add score, attribute, and successfully process the event records. Look, DynamoDB update item, update parameters. So let's go ahead and deploy that. And at the end, it successfully processed event records length records. Let's save that. Okay, just give me 1 second to overlook everything. Yep, successfully updated the function. So let's go ahead and add a trigger. And we're looking for Kinesis, or DynamoDB, sorry. So scroll, this game score by record. So yeah, DynamoDB US West, scroll down and we'll add that. Okay, so the DynamoDB trigger, it's attached to Lambda. So let's go ahead and test it. We'll create a new event. We'll name it score. Private. Let's remove that. We'll copy and paste this JSON. Okay, so event ID 1, keys. Username, score, nickname, new image, region, event source DynamoDB. And let's go ahead and save that. Okay. Let's give it a test. Okay, success. So process 1 record. See the request time. Yep. So now let's go into DynamoDB and see if it updated the table. Let's go to tables. Actually, let's explore. So this is game scores by user, and you can see Jane Doe has a score of 100. It's processed into that table. Game score records, there's nothing as of yet because we didn't trigger anything to update that table. But let's go ahead and create another item. Add the value 1. Add a new attribute. So that would be a number. Let's create a user. Username. And we'll call this user John Doe. And of course, that's a string. Add another attribute. Score. And we'll give them a score of 99. So let's go ahead and create this item. And there's John Doe, score of 99. The record was updated. Okay, let's create another item. And game score records, value of 2. Number. Let's add another item, attribute. Call him Jim Doe. username, sorry, Jimdo is the username. Your attribute. Okay, so score. And we'll give Jimdo a score of 90. Let's create the item. And we're looking at the game score records table. So you have Jimdo 90. Let's see it updates by users. John Doe, Jim Doe, and Jane Doe. Update it. And we're just browsing. Let's see, Lambda overview. Yeah, Kinesis records. Let's check out the dashboard. So we have 2 functions, code storage, full account concurrency. Let's see. Yeah, let's check Kinesis. Okay, data streams. So at this point of this lab was done in a sandbox environment via AWS, but at this point you would want to clean up your resources, go through and delete, the DynamoDB tables, the Lambda functions, and just clean everything up. But for me during this lab, all I have to do is just log out of the sandbox environment. But thanks for watching. That was just a quick visual.